Hello everyone and welcome to pCloudy's webinar on What's New in pCloudy 5.9. My name is Dinakar and I'll be the host for today. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping rules. Your line is currently muted. However, you can submit your questions during the webinar through the chat option at the bottom of the screen. We will answer your questions as part of the Q&A section at the end of the webinar. This webinar is being recorded and we will send the link of the recording to share with your colleagues. Let me introduce the speaker for today, Shoaib Ahmed. He is a lead pre-sales consultant at pCloudy and he has over 9 years of experience in the IT industry. Prior to his role at pCloudy, he worked with Micro Focus as a pre-sales consultant for application delivery management portfolio, catering to technologies such as DevOps, automation, performance, cloud, and mobility. Now, without further any ado, let me hand it over to the speaker, Shoaib Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Dinakar, for the quick introduction. So, hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Shoaib Ahmed, and I'm a technical pre-sales consultant at pCloudy. So, I once again thank you so much for your time, for taking out your time, and joining with us in this webinar. So today we will be discussing on what's new in the pCloudy 5.9 release. So we have brought in several new features, to enhance the product further with new features and capabilities. So we will look into those. We will also have a live demonstration. So if there are any queries, feel free to put your questions across the chat options. We will take your questions at the at the last. Right. So let's get started. I hope you guys can see my screen. Yeah. So for today's agenda, we pretty much covered on the introduction part, and then we will look into what's new in pCloudy 5.9, and then we will cover up a quick on the Q&A part. So let's try and understand, on a quick slide, we'll talk about what is pCloudy, and just to give a glimpse, if there are some new participants want to know understand more about pCloudy. So pCloudy is a continuous testing mobile platform, wherein which provides you access to the real devices where you can test all your hybrid native progressive web apps, mobile web apps with various different features and functionality that we provide as part of manual testing and also automation testing. And so it's a continuous testing platform which enables speed up your delivery of your applications and test your applications with quality and release to the production. So it's a pretty much one-stop shop for all your mobile testing needs, and as well as your desktop browser or desktop browser cloud as well. So we have different the layers within the pCloudy part. So we'll touch base around. We'll not spend much of our time here, but we'll quickly touch base around all the different options that we have. To begin with, it's pretty much on the device lab. So wherein we have the very much scalable infrastructure. We have the real devices hosted in our data center, and where the user can access these devices remotely. And it is our infrastructure is also equipped with enterprise grade security. We have been certified with ISO 27001 and SOC 2 compliant. And you can this particular platform is designed to for the speedy testing of your apps. So you can acquire any device from the farm at any given point of time, and do your functional testing, test applications for various bugs and flaws that you find. And we also have the comprehensive application testing features around it. And when we talk about the browser lab, so again, these are real desktop browsers. So you can pretty much test your desktop web-based applications on our platform on a single in a single shop, and where you can also test your dev side environments. If your applications are accessed in the staging environment, you can pretty much test your real the desktop based applications on our platform, right? And we also support the multiple display resolutions right on the browser cloud, so you can quickly switch from one screen resolution to another screen resolution to see the behavior of an application, how it behaves under various different screen resolutions. and you can also capture this quick screenshots while you're testing the application, the desktop based applications. And we also have a comprehensive support again for the entire cloud, right, wherein you can get a quick support from our technical team members. And again, as I mentioned, so our data center is hosted on enterprise grade security center, so we are pretty much compliant, and we ensure the customers privacy on testing their apps are pretty much safe. And also when it comes to automation, we have certain integration with various different tools like APM, the Espresso, XCUITest, and so on. So where you can quickly create your scripts, the scripts which have already created in your local environments, you can quickly integrate with our platform and execute it. And at the same time, we also have an inbuilt feature, right, which where you can inspect your elements of your native mobile applications, inspect your mobile web applications, and pretty much the creation of scripts becomes the hassle free with the help of Optify. And when it comes to automation at scale, you can do multiple runs on unlimited devices. So the same script can be executed on multiple different devices at the same time. And we can also schedule for a test orchestration, for distribution of variety of various different tests. And not just that, it also has a lag-free execution with no flackiness while you are doing your automation scripts. And some other tools, as I mentioned, we support our, the Espresso and XCUITest as well. And when it comes to analytics part, so we provide the real-time debugging reports, right? So where you can quickly get the information about the logs, the videos, the frequency response details, and so on. So all that are pretty much available in the reporting part, where you can quickly analyze your reports, and if there are any issues, you can pretty much analyze the reports and the law, and also collaborate it on various different platforms like Slack, GitHub, and Jira. And also we have integrated with all our leading CI servers like Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, Azure DevOps, and so on. So if you have your build and you would like to run it on various different CI servers, you can pretty much run it. So that's a quick overview on what pCloudy is. And just to highlight, we were recently listed on Gartner's page, right, on the recent survey, right, in the technology in the Gartner for the 2020 report, which was on the how to build and effective remote testing competency. So this was one of the key milestones that we've been featured again and again. Every year we have been listed on the Gartner. So I thought it will be a proud moment for us. I thought of sharing this with you guys. So without making much delay, let's get started, and I will quickly go across all the various different features that we have released as part of the 5.9. So we will be covering today on the pCloudy desktop assistance. It's a new feature altogether, which was launched, right? So which will support various different utilities that I will be covering. And we'll also touch base on the integration with the XCUITest framework. We will see how the XCUITest test scripts can be executed on our platform. And there are some other features that we have launched. Idle timeout is again, it is going to be an upcoming feature. It's going to be released in upcoming releases, and we will be releasing it soon. I'll talk about more about it, and then we will also see on the Slack integration, right, for both the device as well as browser cloud. So earlier we had it for mobile device, and now we are having this for browser cloud as well. And pins to zoom, again, this is just an interaction. So we had received too many feedbacks to have this feature, so we have bought this feature. You can use this pins to zoom feature, how you can do it on the screen while you're testing it. And at last, the last QR code, now we have launched this for both iOS and as well as Android. Right, so we'll look into the QR code testing, how the QR codes can be scanned from the application. Right, so these are some of the topics that we will be discussing in today's discussion. So let's take a look at it. What is pCloudy desktop assistance? So pCloudy desktop assistance, or PDA, we call it as a PDA. It's one of the major utility that was released in 5.9 update. and it's a much demanded app, which enables user to access the most used features of pCloudy, like wildnet, Android tunnel, and also the iOS connect at a single place. So you don't have to separately download the separate jar files and the other utility. It's everything common across in one single place. So this will improve the usability of these features significantly, and since it can be accessed and used from a single place. So that's the benefit of having the PDA assistant. And this will also save more time while you are testing on with various different test features on multiple clouds at the same cloud. If you are having multiple clouds, so you can configure multiple clouds on a single PDA, and you can configure and without any hassle of logging into the different clouds separately. So this is also one of the major benefit that we see. And when it comes to the support, so this primarily supports on all the different operating systems like when Linux, Windows, and Mac, right? So to summarize, if there are any multiple clouds, PDA will definitely help you provide the benefit of testing these features on multiple clouds at a single place, without even having logging into the different clouds. This will save time again, as they don't have to download different jars, as I mentioned. All right, it's a single utility that needs to be downloaded on your machine, and once you run this exe file, you can pretty much get started. And it also provides facility to use the direct and debug proxy. Okay, so you can directly use the proxies. You can get to understand what is the HTTP request and the responses, in case if you are using Charles proxy for that matter. And with that, it also saves time in case of the upgrades, as in when it will be pushed from backend for the users. So you don't have to worry about upgrading the utility that you have downloaded. So it's an easy to app use, which may not require many prerequisites. Okay, so there are only two prerequisites that are needed. So one is, of course, you need to have a pCloudy account, and then followed by the pCloudy desktop assistance file. Okay, so before I move to the next feature, let me quickly demonstrate how this feature can be utilized, pCloudy desktop assistance. Okay, so let me just log into the platform. I'm just signing in with my credentials. Okay, so yeah, so to use this feature, so we also have a notification. If you quickly launch, if you quickly log in into the platform, so there is a notification bar where you can quickly get to understand about this very new feature that we have launched. It's called as pCloudy desktop assistance. So we have provided all the details here for using various different parts, right? So this supports for wildnet, as I mentioned, wildnet, Android device tunnel, and also iOS connect. It's a single utility which can be used for all the three different operations that you want to perform. All right, so you may download this utility. So the utility is available in our GitHub locations. You can simply go to the utility page, and depending on your Mac, depending on your operating system, you may download the required required options. So once you click on download, the exe file will be downloaded on your local machine, and you can pretty much get started with this utility. So let's take a look at it. So I'll go through and one is the wildnet, how to use the wildnet part, and also the Android tunnel. So these are the two features that I will be covering as part of this PDF functionality. I've already downloaded this, and let me just take you to the location where I have kept this. Yeah, so this is my pCloudy desktop assistance, which I've already downloaded. All right, so it's an exe file. I can quickly run this on my machine. I will simply click on run. It will try to establish the connection. Yeah, here we are. Here we go. So the pCloudy platform assistance has just began, right? And we would see a page. Yeah. So here we go. So this is a place where I can configure, right, in order to use my various different features. So the first step towards is to authenticate. So in order to connect to the device form, I need to authenticate with my cloud. So these are some of the mandatory details that I need to be inputting. So I need to provide my email ID here. So this will be the email ID of the user. And access key, I can get this from the platform. I can go back to the platform and into the settings tab. If I quickly go into the settings tab, I can get the API access key. So this is my device settings and here is my API key. I can quickly get this API key and I can input the same API key here and followed by the cloud URL. If you are using public cloud, it would be device.pcloudy.com. Otherwise, if you are using any private clouds, so it will be your customer, your name, your company's name followed by pcloudy.com. Any customized URL in case if you have. So since we are using, I'm showing this demonstration on the public cloud. Let me use the public cloud URL, right? So this is my URL. So we have also provided detailed steps in our documentation, which you may always follow. Okay, let me just use this email ID. And once I have provided this, I can pretty much I can connect now to my so there are some mandatory other fields like advanced where you can also use the debug proxy. So this is required wherein in case if you want to monitor the network traffic, right? So which will help you to debug your network application. So like so that this will basically lets you check if your REST API is working correctly or not. You can also do the latency check, but of course this is optional at this point of time. But if there is any such requirement, you can always use the various different proxies. For instance, if you're using Charles, which is an HTTP proxy, or the HTTP monitor, right? So which will always help enable the developers to view all the HTTP and SSL HTTP requests between their machine and the internet. So you can configure all this. Okay, so let's proceed now. Let's click proceed now. I have provided all these mandatory details and click on connect. So once I connect, so I can see the three different feature support. So it's the single utility that I was mentioning, so you don't have to download it separately. Earlier, for three different auto utilities, you had to download separate jar files. Now it is single stop where you can quickly use this pCloudy desktop assistance and you can quickly configure. So for instance, if I want to use the wildnet feature, I can simply come here and click on activate. So before I do that, let me connect to any device and showcase how I can quickly connect to my staging server environment. I'm just logging in and yeah, let me connect to any device. So basically, I'm trying to use the wildnet feature here. So wildnet feature is basically just to, if there are some new users who want to understand what is wildnet. So wildnet is basically used if you have your application which is accessed in the staging server environment, right? It's kind of intranet application, and you want to test it on our cloud. And so how do we, what is that we need to do? So there's a wildnet utility. With single pCloudy desktop assistance, now you will be able to just activate this, and once you activate, you can quickly connect to any of the devices from our platform. There was some issue with this. Let me connect to any other device. My device portal, I have various different devices. I can connect to any of these devices. So let me connect to Samsung A10s. Okay, so here we are. So we have now connected to a real physical devices, right? So now in order to connect to my internal apps, all right, internal apps which is accessed only in the restricted environment. So wildnet feature will help me, you connect to the internal apps. So I have Jenkins on my local machines. So now if I want to access the same Jenkins on this particular device, so how do I access? I need the wildnet feature. So what I will do is I'll quickly check the IP of my machine. IP config. So this is my IP address currently. So if I just type this and colon EP80, I'll be able to launch the Jenkins, right? So now if I want to access the same page, the same Jenkins tool on the device, so how do I do that? So if I just launch the browser here and I'll just try to access. Okay, so let me input the URL which I want to access. So this is my Jenkins URL which I am trying to input, which I am trying to access, colon 8080, right? So if I just try to connect, this will give me an error which says this site cannot be root, because since it's a private server, right? So it's a private server, I will not be able to log in. So now with the wildnet feature, what this does is you will be, we try to establish a reverse connection from your local machine to this particular device. So in order to use this, you can simply connect to the pCloudy desktop assistance and into the wildnet, and you may just perform the activate. So once this gets activated, now the wildnet, you can see a message here. The wildnet service has been activated successfully. Now into the portal. Now if I try to enable the wildnet here, I'll just try to enable the wildnets and you'll be notified with the success. Now if I try to refresh this, I should be able to access the same URL which I am trying to access. As you can see, yeah, it's pretty much the same. So it's a pretty much hassle free. You don't have to download any separate utility, right? Earlier you had to download a separate utility on your local machine, execute a command. So it's pretty it's pretty fast now. You can quickly connect your internal apps and do your testing, right? So that's on the that's pretty much on the wildnet part. And also a device tunnel, right? So you can also connect do the connect in order to in order to debug your applications from the development side. So there are various options, right? One is for Android and also for iOS. I will not be able to showcase, but I will be showcasing for Android tunnel. So how we can connect to the Android device tunnel. So once you are here on this page, you will have an various options of selecting, right? Various different options. So in case if you are going with just with going with the public cloud, you can just provide the name, or in case if you are using any additional clouds apart from the public cloud, you also are accessing private cloud, you can also always add separate cloud details here, so that it's just in a single place you can connect to the multiple clouds and do the device tunneling, right, on both the different pages, right? So I have various different devices that are listed. I can filter them in case if I wish to filter based on operating systems or manufacturers, in case if I wish to do it with Samsung, and if I want to filter with versions, I can always do that. I can filter with various different versions. So let me filter with Samsung 10. Samsung 10 version, I'll start seeing all the various different devices here. I can connect to any of this device. Let me just click on Samsung Galaxy and start device tunnel. So once I click on start device tunnel, you will be notified, right, with the message. And there is a notification here. It says then you have to provide the duration for how long you want to book the minutes. Maybe you can provide some minutes here for how long you want to book. Let's book it for 10 or 15 minutes, right? And click on start device tunnel. So once I do that, I'll be notified with the message the device is booked. Currently this device seems to be not available, hence we have got a message here that this device is not available, right? I can select any other device. Let's see if J6 is available. Yeah, so successfully booked the device and initializing the device tunnel. So once this gets started, right, you can always go back to the page. Let me release this device. And I have booked through the through the PDA feature, right, which is pCloudy desktop assistance for the Android tunnel. So I have booked one particular device, which is Samsung J6. Now if I go to the my bookings tab, I should be able to see this device. I can simply connect to this device, and I can establish my connection. The device tunneling would be done once I do this. So it's pretty straightforward. Similarly, even for iOS device tunnel as well, since we do not have, I'm running this on Windows machine, so I'll not be able to support it. So iOS, we need a Mac machine where I can showcase. But otherwise, you should be able to do it. So it's a single utility where you can perform all these various different options. So once the connection is established, you can always connect from your, you can check whether the connection is established or not. You can go to the CMD and you can just type in ADB devices so that you can see if the device is connected or not. It's not yet connected as it is getting loaded. It might take some time. Usually it does not take time depending on the user network bandwidth. For some reason, since we are all working from home, I'm not sure if my network bandwidth is good. I'm not able to connect. But however, yeah, the actual intent, let me go back and connect back and see. The device is pretty much there. Okay, for the interest of the time, maybe I'll skip this for now. But the intent of showcasing this PDA, right, the pCloudy desktop assistant is, is that key. You can connect to all the three different features. You can do wildnet, you can do the Android tunneling, you can also do the iOS device tunneling. And once you have another connected to the device, you can access to the My Bookings tab, connect to the device, and you should be able to see it on your, the command prompt as if the device is connected to your local machine, and you can start debugging it. You can install the app, and you can perform all the various different ADB commands. Right. So yeah, let me disconnect it for now. Once this is done, you should be able to connect to the different various devices and process. So that's about the desktop assistance part. And the next part is on the XCUITest. We will cover on the XCUITest as well. I have a small video already prepared, right, where I can quickly showcase. So let's try and understand what is XCUITest framework. So XCUITest is basically now Apple's official framework for testing all your applications using Xcode. And this framework basically supports both Swift and as well as the Object C. So you can use this XCUITest for your testing needs across all the different iOS devices, and it is pretty much made easy as pCloudy provides an interface so that you can run all your XCUITest on multiple iOS devices simultaneously. So the prerequisite for that is first is you should have an XCUITest project and followed by the pCloudy account. So I have a video which I will be showcasing on how the XCUITest framework, their existing code can be integrated with pCloudy and execute on our platform. So let's take a look at it. So I have a video here wherein I have created a small video to help you understand how the XCUITest can be integrated. Right, so I'm connected to a project. So this is my project test monk demo. Right, I'm opening that project within my Xcode, and this is that project. So I have two different test suites, right? And where I'm at one part where I'm providing the provisioning. I'm doing a provisioning here, provisioning profiles. I can select the provisioning profiles for all the respective test suites. Right, I'm just providing for one of my test suites here, and I will proceed with the second tab as well, where I can come here, select the different profiles, and connect it. So this is a place where I am just doing the profiling thing, and then once I'm done with that, I'll be going to the project settings tab, where I'll be providing the default derived path. So by default, it is stored in one specific location, but however, in case if you want to store it in a separate folder, right, the project that we are going to zip it, right. So I'm going to a command prompt and making a directory here, right, so where I can quickly create a folder here within my machine, so that all the project that we are going to compress it will be available, and all the data that has in it will be available in this particular location. So I'm just doing that. I'm just creating a folder here in the test in the name of test monk suite. Okay, so this is my URL. This is my location where I'm going to showcase. I'll go back to the location and paste the derived location where I want to have this project. All right. So now I have done with the configuration of defining the profiles and also deriving the path. So this is my test cases, right? So this is my sample test case that I have created, and this is my the bundle ID, right? So we have unique bundle IDs for every different application. So these are my bundle IDs. I make sure I provide them, and yeah, this is the bundle ID that I'm just confirming. And once I'm done with that, I will now go ahead and proceed and build, right? I'll do the build so that the project gets compiled. All right, so I'm going to the test monk here and selecting generic as a device name. Go to the build folder and click on testing part. So this is the place where I will be the building the app. So now the entire project is getting built after defining all the configurations, which has profiling and also deriving the path where the project will be saved. And I make sure that I have provided all the details, which has the bundle ID and other profiles. So once this is done, you will be notified with the success on your Xcode that the build is succeeded. So once this is succeeded, you can proceed and go to the folder where you have stored it. As you can see, this is pretty much succeeded. Now I can go back to the terminal and I can check, I can open the location where I have place the build. Right, this is the place where I have the build. I'll go back to the respective folder here, and this is the place where the build is stored. Right, so this is my applications. This is my test, the project test where I have compiled it. Now I can go here, I can zip it. Right, so the prerequisite here to upload the the project is to zip. You need to compress the zip so that you can upload this into the pCloudy cloud location. So I'm providing the name here, testmonk.zip as suit here. And then once this is ready, now I can go back to the platform. All right, I can go back to the platform and I can upload the same zip file which I have created. All right, so I'll just log into my platform and go to the my app data section. So my app data section is a place where you will be uploading all your files. So in our case, we will upload the zip file that we have just created. All right, I'll go browse from my local drive, select the application, the project which I have zipped it, which I have compressed it, and I'll just click on open. So once I click on open, the application, the project will get uploaded to the cloud. Right, so this is one of the prerequisites. So you have to configure all your test Xcode projects, all right, and upload it. And so once you have uploaded, you will be notified with the success message again. So let me just scroll here. Yeah, so this is completed. Now I'm pretty much done. So this is the initial part. Now we can execute the various different aspects, various different APIs. So we have various different APIs for you to test the XCUITest, how to execute it. So if you just go across the documentation link, which is content.pcloudy.com, here I have an XCUITest automation. If I can just go to the XCUITest automation, I have various different APIs, right? So there are various different steps. So as an initial step, I will be authenticating with the authentication API, and then followed by I'll be booking the device and then initiate the automation. So right, so we will be performing all this step by step, one by one. So you can use your own respective API tool. So we are using Postman here to execute these different APIs. All right, so we have listed all the APIs here. So let me just go to the go back to the API Postman tool. So before that, in order to get the API access key, right? So I'll go back to the platform, into the settings page. I'll get the APIs, respective APIs. So this is my API key where I can just copy the API key for my authentication purpose. I can just copy this, and now I can go back to my automation, the Postman tool, wherein I can quickly run these APIs. So this is the first API where I will be authenticating the user. All right. So I provided the username and also the password. So this is my API key which I have got, and I will execute this. So once I execute, I should be able to get the the response. So once I get the response, I can get the token, the relevant token for this particular authentication. I can use it for subsequent requests. Yeah, I'm just doing that, sending it again. Yeah, so this is my success. All right, I can copy this token. So this is my first part, and the next part is I need to book the device, get the devices, get the available list of devices, right? So it's the second option is to get the devices. So here I can pass the API here, wherein I can get the list of different iOS devices, right? I can just change the token here, which I have received from the authentication token, and also provide the duration for how long I'm going to book the device. The platform is pretty much iOS. I'm going to get the devices which are currently available in the cloud. And once I run this, I'll get a list of all the various different iOS devices which are pretty available. From this, I can get the IDs, right, of various different devices, which I can use it for further action, right? So in this case, if I am going with the ID called 315, right, this is one of the devices. It has an Apple iPad mini, right? I can go to the next request. This is the next API where I am trying to book the device, right? This is the third operation that I'm going to do. This is my API where I'm going to book the device, and I'll change the token here. So the device ID which we have taken from a previous request. Let me just get the token and go back to the selection here and paste the URL. And this is the device and duration pretty much there. And I can just execute this as well. So once I execute this, I'll be getting the relevant data, and also I'll be getting a relevant automation ID, which I can use it for further purpose. And the next option is to initiate the automation. So this is the final step where we are going to initialize. All right, I'll take the initial token which I have received from my subsequent request, and also I need the automation ID. All right, so the automation ID which I have got through the booking, right, I'll get the same automation ID and I'll pass this in the initiate. So once I have this, I can upload it. So before that, I would like to also talk about the application, right? The application which has to be uploaded to the cloud, right? To verify, I'll go back to the my app data folder. So this is the place where I'll make sure that my application is already the project which I have compressed it is already available. So this is the name which I can provide here. I make sure that is there, and once I have this, I can execute this so that the execution gets started, and I can access, I can actually go to the platform and see the test in real time. As you can see, the automation initiated successfully. You'll be notified with a message. Now I can go back to the platform, and to see what's really happening during the live action, I'll go back to the reports, and in the my active session, you'll start seeing all the tests that you have run. So as you can see, this is a test that we have executed through the Postman, and I can further click on view report view. So in order to see the live view, what exactly is happening in the live view, right? So the device will get connected, and the test should be, yeah, the test is currently running, right? So yeah, you can run it on multiple devices as well at the same time by providing multiple device IDs based on the availability of the devices. Since we are running this for one device, I have only one device. As you can see, the test is getting executed for the XCUITest. And once the execution is completed, the device will get released, and we will also provide you the reports. So yeah, so while this is getting executed, let me just go back. I'll just forward it, and yeah, I'll go back to the all report section. Once the execution is completed, I can view the report. To view the report, I'll go to the all report section and just click on view report. The XCUITest automation report will something look like this, wherein I have all the session details, and also the local report. All right, I can further open this local report here. I can click on this, and I get to see all the the various different test reports that I have within my execution which has downloaded. So I have all the reports here, number of test cases that are passed, the number of test cases that are failed. I can pretty much monitor here, and also the screenshots are also provided for every failed transaction. As you can see, the various different steps. I can also navigate to the failed test case. So this is one of the failed test case that was failed. I can go here. I can drill down into the screen, into the deep test case level, and I can actually see where the test case failed. right? So that's about how you execute your XCUITest on our platform, right? I hope this was useful. Let me just go back to the platform and cover the other features, right? I hope the pCloudy desktop assistance and XE framework which I showcased was useful, right? So without much delay, let me proceed, right? So now we will quickly take a look at the QR code scanner. So this was another release for Android, all right? For any application which scans the barcode, right? Now we have a support for iOS devices as well. So where you can quickly scan the barcodes and for any applications, so which is supported for QR scanning, you can pretty much do that. And various different applications. It could be the payment applications or shopping, transport, or any other apps so that you want to test. And not just that, we also support it for the QR code test automation. All right, so you can execute using our API. So we have APIs as well provided, which you can use it for API. So let's take a look at it. So before I do that, let me also cover another feature which is called as pins to zoom. So this is one of the features which will help you use the device wherein you can pins to zoom. You can actually use it the way like you use it on your local devices. So currently this is supported only for iOS devices which are running in version 13.7 or below on the platform, and you should be able to use these gestures in and out and display the content on the device with a touch screen. So I'll be showcasing these two different features as well. So let me go back to the platform again and connect any iPhone devices. So make sure you connect to any device which is 13.7 and lower. Currently, these are the different devices that are supported. And let me connect to iPhone XR. Okay, here we are. So the device is pretty much connected here. Now I'll be showcasing two different steps, two different features. So one is QR code scanning. Okay, so let me open another tab. Okay, I'll go to the my app data. All right, so the first thing that I would be doing in order to use my the QR code scanning is to upload the application which is supported, which is QR code supported. All right, so to use this feature, I will be uploading my applications to the cloud from my local drive. All right, so from my local repository, I can quickly go here, upload the various different apps. Right, so whichever IPA file I have, if I want to use it, I can simply browse from my local repository. Just for the benefit of the time, I have already uploaded the application, right? So once you upload your IPA file, you will see your IPA file something like this. Now, in order to use this IPA file as a QR code scanner, right? So we need to do certain instrumentation to this particular app so that it supports the QR code. So what we do is, so once I upload the IPA file, I can simply go and click on the Apple icon, and here you have something called as sensor testing. So what happens here once we click on sensor testing? So once we click on sensor testing, the same file will be renamed with the same name underscore sensor timestamp.ipa. So what we are doing here is we are adding certain libraries to this particular file so that this particular app supports the QR code functioning. So this is the mandatory step. So that has to be done. So you need to upload your IPA file which supports the QR code scanner, and then you must do the instrumentation. So to do the instrumentation, you just click on this particular Apple icon and click on sensor testing. So it's pretty simple process. Okay, and the next is you also need to inject the image, right? So any QR codes. So we have a sample QR image here. It's in the form of PNG format. You can see pcloudy.png here. So you can upload all your various different formats. It can be in JPEG or JPG format. So you can upload. So these are the two mandatory steps that we do. Now I can go back to the device and install the same application which I have just censored it. Right. So these are the various different applications, and this is my scanned censored application which I have instrumented. I can simply click on install, and the application will get installed on this particular device. And once it is installed, I will be able to scan the image. I shall inject the image into the device. So let's take a look at it. The app is getting installed. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, here we are. The application just got scanned, and I'll click on OK. So this is my QR code application. And now, so once I have the QR code application, all right, now I can scan, all right. So I can inject. The next step is to inject the image. So to do that, I'll just click on inject file. If you can see here on the right hand side, provided you have already uploaded your all the various different images that you want to scan, right? So I can inject all these images. All right, so pcloudy.png is my file which I want to inject into the scanner. So let me just do that. So once I inject it, the QR code scanner will automatically capture, right, the content behind the QR code, and it's been displayed on my screen. So this is the URL. So it was just a small URL, and now I can access this URL on the device as well. On the device, I can further open it in the web if I want to access the platform. Right, so that's how it works. So it is pretty much similar even for Android, where you will be uploading your application and then you will do the instrumentation, right? For APK files, again, just similarly like IPA, how we did it for the sensor type. Even for IPA applications, you will have something called as sensor testing. Even for IPA files, right? You can simply click on sensor testing, and you should be able to instrument the applications. So once this is done, you should be able to install the application, and you can connect to the relevant the QR image that you want to refer. Right, so that's about the QR code image, and the same QR code can be used as part of automation as well. So we have published certain APIs where you can quickly use those APIs in order to inject the images during automation as well. So we have published that in our documentation. You can refer. So for the benefit of the time, I will not be able to cover the automation part. So that's pretty much on the the QR code image. Now we will cover the next part, which is pins to zoom, how we can use this pins to zoom feature. So let me use the same device. Or I may connect to any other different devices. Let me filter with Apple. Yeah, so I can connect to any of the devices here. Let me connect to iPhone SE 2020. The device will be acquired, and once it is acquired, I should be able to perform the feature on this particular device. Okay, here we are. So let's take a look how this pins to zoom feature can be used. As you can see here, so this is a pins to zoom feature. So just to remind, this pins to zoom feature works on devices which has a version 13.7 or below. So currently we are supporting, very soon we will have support for the latest versions of iOS as well. Right, so I have connected to a device which is lesser than 13.7, right? So yeah, I can access any application, or I can just simply open the Safari browser here, go open any application, and now this is the place where I want to do the pins to zoom operations, right? Any activity that I want to perform. So I'll just scroll to the relevant page where I want to zoom it, and if you can see it on the right hand side, there's a pins to zoom feature. Just click on pins to zoom feature so that this feature is applied on the device. Now I can use it in case if I want to just zoom out. All right, I can simply do that. I can simply just extract it externally towards outside, so that the content on the page gets zoomed out. All right, zoomed in further. I can further do that. Yeah, so if there are any content, if there is any requirement wherein you need to use this pins to zoom feature, you can pretty much just open the particular application and just launch this pins to zoom feature, so that you can zoom in and zoom out for any content. All right, so this is how you will be using the pins to zoom feature. I hope this makes sense and understood. Once once you're finished with your using, you can just select on the same pins to zoom so that it gets deactivated from the page. Right, so that's about pins to zoom feature, which is currently available on the latest 13.7 and below. Right. Okay, so that's pretty much on the pins to zoom feature. And the next feature that we will be covering today is the idle timeout. Okay, so what is this idle timeout? So this is currently upcoming feature. Right, so it's in the currently testing phase. So currently, what is this idle timeout all about? Right. So when you connect to any device, right? So what happens is the idle timeout for any device. If the device is untouched for 5 minutes, right, the device will get auto released. Right, so there may be scenarios wherein you want to wait it for more than 10 minutes. You want to actually see what happens after 10 minutes in your applications. So to help achieve those use cases, so we have come up with a feature idle timeout. So where we are providing you an option where you can set the idle timeouts, right, in the platform. So once you connect to the platform, you can actually set the idle timeout. So we are providing three different options, three different timelines: 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 15 minutes. So depending on your need, you can set the time. By default, we are keeping it to 5 minutes again, but in case if your use case demands where you want to keep the idle timeout for more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you can set, and the same will be applied to all the devices. And once you have done with your testing, again it will be rolled back to the 5 minutes. So you make sure that you change based on your requirement as and when it's required. And this is applicable for both mobile app devices as well as for the browser cloud. So you can keep it to watch. So we'll be releasing this soon, very in the upcoming releases. And also Slack integration is now available for browser cloud too. So earlier we had this only for mobile devices. Now we have for browser cloud too. So where you can quickly share your test reports with your team members over the Slack, and you can also collaborate your findings across the organization. So this will help you speed up your the testing process. You can share your findings across the teams. You can collaborate your findings with the different team members on the Slack. So which will help you share the findings very easily. And also we also have a shareable report, right, for browser cloud now, where you can quickly share your reports for your desktop browser testing, where you can quickly showcase. And another important feature is on the automation part, so where you can test do the automation on the same model on the same version. So if there are two devices of the same model and the same version, and you want to run it on those two devices parallel at the same time, so you can pretty much do that. Now we are pretty much supporting. You can run your same script on same different devices, provided it's available on the cloud, where you can quickly run. So yeah, so that's it from my side. I've pretty much covered it on the both on the mobile devices and also on the browser cloud part. So let me know if there are any questions. I'm just trying to read out few queries. So there is a question from user uh, Sahimitya. So he's asking about the PDA, that is pCloudy desktop assistance. So is this just a single utility that needs to be downloaded on the machine, or is it is separate for all the different utilities that you mentioned? Yeah, I'm not sure if you were there while I was showcasing. Yeah, it's just a single utility that needs to be downloaded on your local machine. All right, it's a small exe, and you will be executing this exe. So once you have this, it's a single stop shop for all your debugging purpose. Either you are doing it connecting to a device tunnel for Android or iOS, or maybe you want to test your internal apps in case of using WildNet. So it's just a single stop shop which will help you test various different functionalities as part of the wildnet, or and even on the device tunneling part. So which will again speed up your testing activity as well. Right. I hope I have answered to your question, Satyam. Okay, and also there is another question from user called Shali is asking the pins to zoom is currently supported for 13.7. Yeah, that is right. and what is the roadmap you have for the for the latest releases. So yeah, so currently we are working on it. To answer to your question, I exactly do not have the date as such, but yeah, once we have a support for the latest devices, we will publish that as well on our documentation. So please have a look at our documentations on our announcement very soon. So once we have it, and you should be able to see it on the latest iOS versions as well. Okay. Well, I don't see any more questions. If there are any questions, guys, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be able to happy to answer to your questions one-on-one directly if there are any. I hope this session was useful and interactive. So yeah, with that I conclude. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day ahead. Take care.